Welcome to my channel and thank you for visiting. I'll start out by explaining the title. I haven't painted since high school. I've done art since then, like drawing and designing, but in terms of like paint and brushes, it's been years. And since finishing college a year or two ago, I had struggled to get back to my creative grind that I had in college, let alone the insane amount of art that I did in high school, like every day, filling up multiple sketchbooks. So I think part of my attempt at reinvigorating my passion is to dip into a medium that I haven't touched in forever. And then the reintroduction part. It's a bit more simple. I posted animations, time lapses, a comic dub, which I made those in middle school when I was younger, and I don't want anyone to see that. I might put some of them back up there after I have proven myself with more recent art. So, the first steps that I've taken towards painting, I've practiced on gesso primed cardboard, and it's a way for me to like not feel that as committed to an expensive ass canvas, and if the composition is weird, I can just be like, okay, it's fine, it's just a piece of cardboard. Alright, so that's mostly the script that I had that I wanted to write down, so that I got everything that I wanted to get, just because the first video that I feel like I made, it feels like it's the first video anyway. It's a little nerve-wracking, I'll be honest, but otherwise I'll just come back in as I have stuff to talk about for the painting. As far as the subject matter is, this is Ryan McGee from Super Mega fame, and this is one of my favorite videos. Not favorite, but I have painted from this video before. It's the Kangaroo Jack reaction video, and I painted a version of this exact same painting in high school, and ironically enough, it was also on cardboard, and it was using like primary colors, so he was like yellow and his beard was blue or something like that. And so getting back into this, I kind of wanted to try a subject that I had done before, and kind of use it as a way, as a benchmark. And I think it was pretty successful in being a benchmark for me, but they were just so different styles. I might share and show, like post on my Instagram, the old one. I might not though. But one of the things that I have gathered from oil painting so far is blocking in stuff, and that I'm focusing the most on parts that I want the viewer to focus on. So I don't really want the viewer to focus on Ryan's like shoulder and his jacket and how it actually works. I just want the vibes of a jacket and a shoulder. And the headphones are kind of an in-between between the details that I want on the face and the details that I want to show on headphones. Like, I added some detail in the headphones later on, you'll see, but not much. And I'm not very much a person to... I don't really like details in art. If I can get away with as little as detail as possible, I would, and it still like give the effect that I'm going for. And so the most amount of time that I spend on this painting is in the face, and then the most is the eyes. Tend to have the most draw towards the eyes, which makes sense. But there are some parts in this painting that are like at the end, they're just the first couple layers of paint and not much else. And I think that's partly because of the I'm doing this on cardboard. These are more akin to sketches than actual paintings. I haven't done a like full canvas painting yet, but I don't know if that would still carry over to to like more longer time or long-term paintings, like the ones that take me like days and days and days. This one I think took me about 2 days, and that was mostly just because halfway through I just needed it to dry a little bit. I think one thing that I was trying to focus on in this painting was having a lot of value difference in the skin tones. So there'd be blues and reds and some yellows and greens, but I think that in the past, especially whenever I've done like digital art, stuff like that, it's mostly just, okay, you got the mid-tone of the skin value and then the darks and the highlights. So painting has definitely forced me to do a lot more like different colors. I think in the beginning of this one, with the colors and the skin tone, I really kind of struggled with contrast. There's not a lot of contrast in the beginning stages, and so unfortunately for the sake of a time lapse, you can't really see too much of what I'm doing. But this is the second day in the time lapse. So after this, I was like, okay, I need to be a bit more high contrast and confident in the colors and all that in the skin, so that it's easier to see from far away. And I definitely think that that's, in the end, I got it pretty right on the contrast in the different colors of the skin. And then the painting after this one, even more like different colors and wacky contrast and stuff. I also struggled a lot with the mouth here. I think I did it about 2 or 3 times, and one of the great things that I have realized about oil is that I can kind of just wipe away shit. I don't have to... I mean, I guess with acrylics, you can just cover it up. It's a lot easier to. But with oil, you can just, like, wipe it away and it's good. I used to work... I haven't really worked that much with acrylic. I worked with water-based oil paint, and that was fine. I felt like it's kind of comparable to oil paints that I'm working with right now, but this just feels... I think the paint thinner. Like I use Gamsol. I haven't tried any others, but this is the one that Reddit said was the one to go with, and I think that the paint thinner is a lot nicer than diluting the water-soluble oils with water, but it's been so long that I can't really compare. But that's just the experience that I've had, and so far I'm loving oil. I'm just a little worried about the Gamsol, and I learned recently that that's how Bob Ross died. He died of, or at least, maybe this is, I don't know, but I heard that he died from lung cancer from a poorly ventilated studio and turpentine. But Gamsol's supposed to be better, so hopefully it's not too bad of a worry. Oh, this is whenever I did the eyes I think I waited a bit later to do this because I knew that it needed contrast, but the eyes are just so, they're a scary part, I think, for me, because it kind of determines a lot about the tone of the painting with very little strokes of paint, you know, like, I don't know, whenever you look closely at the eyes, it's just a line on top and it's the pupil, so it's a bit daunting. I kind of put it off, and I think whenever there's something that I don't want to do in a painting, I just jump around a lot. I think right about here, Jerma was saying something particularly vile, which is, it's saying something because I've watched him for a couple years now, but I guess sometimes it still shocks me what goes on in his brain. I think another thing that I struggled with this painting, or painting in general, is that it's kind of hard to know when to stop. I did okay on the mouth here. I knew when to stop and stopped, like, muddying up the colors too much. But I really have to catch myself and just not overworking something. And then another thing I also struggle with just generally is that I don't mix enough paint. I am always struggling. I feel like I'm struggling to have enough of a color that I like. I'll mix and it's the perfect shade, but I don't have enough of that paint, so I don't know. It's just something that I'll have to be aware of and work better on. You can see here with the beard that I'm painting, I mixed a lot because it was an easy color to mix, but I still kind of struggled and came up short on the amount of paint that I had. And I know that, like, the paint thinner can help to a degree, but once you get to the, like, more final layers that are the thin lean over fat, once you get to the fatter layers, you can't spread it as far with the thinner because you don't want to use any. So it's just something that I have noticed that I need to work on. coming up here is one of my favorite parts. It's mixing up the background and carving out the face. So I'm able to carve out the profile and edge of the face that I wasn't really able to subtract from while I was painting. And this one I actually did mix enough paint, and I'm really happy with the orangish pinkish salmon that I went with, and it's just so satisfying to see that flat color in the background. But I similarly was leaving it kind of unfinished on the edge. I didn't go directly fill the entire plane with that color. This was another point where I was having a lot of fun and I almost overworked it. I had to hold myself back from continuing to paint this beautiful salmon orange pink. It was just, I was wanting to go all over, but then I had to think about composition and how it was actually looking. But as I'm finishing up here, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see a picture of the final painting, I have it up on my Instagram, and the handle is up on the screen right now. I have more videos to come, and I thank you for watching.